Hey guys, welcome back to TomGirl. We are in episode 3. We are here at AFTERBUZZ TV, and I am so stoked about this interview tonight. We are with pro skimboarder Amber Torrealba, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
All right. Okay, I am super fired up for this one, so I hope you guys are all too. Hey guys, I'm your TomGirl host, JJ Jurgens, and I'm joined here tonight by the lovely Amber Torrealba.
Stoked to be here.
Right. And we actually have another, you brought a friend along as well.
Yeah, one of my filmers slash fellow Skim members, Sam Victor.
Woohoo! Yeah. All right, I love it. So she's here to really give me some of the inside stories, or maybe some things we'll learn a few more secrets about you. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. Okay, well, I think I, for one, am just so fascinated about this because this is something that I don't know a lot about, and you'd think being out in California for so long I would know more, so I'm so excited to have you in. So let's just first start out and talk about like how you got involved in skimboarding, how this became your passion.
Well, it's kind of crazy. I've kind of played sports pretty much my whole life, and I always like did sports on the side of the organized team, like soccer and basketball and everything like that growing up. And I was really into skateboarding and stuff. But you know, in like general school paths or whatever, you tend to follow like the traditional sports. But I would always be skateboarding on the side or like getting on any sort of board sport. And you know, I started surfing when I was probably like 12, 13, 14, and it was one of those things where you were always out in the water, and so you couldn't really hang out with your friends at the same time either. And skimming kind of just came about to me in Florida because everybody was just riding the wooden boards along the flat surface, and it was something I could kind of do with my friends and hang out like closer to the beach, and I didn't have to worry about getting bit by sharks, which is a pretty common thing going on right now in California. So
well, yeah, there's 16 of them off the coast in Long Beach. My brother's out paddleboarding, and I'm like, I would maybe hold off just a little bit. But.
Yeah, he might end up on one of those Instagram videos where he's like on the loudspeaker, so we don't want any of that. But and yeah, in Florida it was just kind of one of those things where I just picked it up and it was like, dang, like this is much different than skating or snowboarding or surfing. It's kind of like a combination feel of all of them, and it was way more challenging to me because I would see like videos everybody doing on the shore, and that was fun, but then I started to see videos of people skimming in California, and that was like completely different. They were riding waves and it looked like surfing, and I'm like, what the heck is this? Like I can catch a wave like surfing from the shore.
Yeah.
So I kind of became obsessed with it once I started sliding around and like getting a feel for it, and I kind of just built that hunger from the Florida waves being so small and like seeing all these people charge all these huge waves out here, and I'm like, dang, I could probably like take this sport pretty far. And just getting into, you know, the older I got and the farther I got kind of pushed out of traditional sports after high school basketball and track and all that stuff, I just kind of went back to it because the ocean was my passion. And I found skimboarding was a combination of kind of like finding that peace where I like the escape of going to the ocean, but yet doing something fun and still like being active. And yeah, I just got addicted to it. It's crazy.
I did see, actually, I have to say basketball real quick because I played college basketball. So that's right. But anyway, I did see some of your moves on one of your videos, and you had some great basketball moves too. So like, were all of your high school teams pretty successful, or how did high school sports go for you?
Yeah, it was great because I happened to get into basketball in Melbourne High School back in Florida, in Melbourne, Florida, and we weren't really a successful team when I first started in my freshman year, but playing varsity like pretty much the whole time that I was there, we like actually got to districts and got pretty good, and you know, I had the decision if I wanted to play college basketball, and you know, that was crazy for me to kind of give up traditional sports to go, you know, just focus on just college and then actually action sports, because I kind of felt like I wanted to go to the school that I wanted to go to for academics, and kind of didn't want to get forced into whatever school like they wanted me to play for basketball. And I had a lot of injuries, and going, you know, 4 years strong, you know, I was just like, you know, this is a time for a change. And I really started to fall in love with the individual style of sports, when I can practice when I want to practice and be creative when I want to be creative, and really just bring my own sort of mix to my sport. And so that's what I found with skimboarding, is it's so open, it's so broad. Like everybody has a different style in skimboarding. It's not just one like little like look that you would see.
So when you first started out, then did you just learn all on your own, or did you train with somebody, or was there what kind of influences did you have?
It's kind of crazy. Like I learned on my own just from like putting the skimboard down, treating it like skateboarding on water. And I started to like really get good on like, oh, I'm getting on it quick and I'm getting fast. And then there was this skim shop over back home called Skim City, and one of the main dudes was like, what are you doing? Like I was dropping it wrong, I was like getting on it wrong, and he was like, just try this, and just you're gonna like eat it a couple times, and I would get beat up from the sand, just scratches all over me. But eventually, as soon as it clicked, I was just like, okay, I'm doing this properly. And then I just kind of progressed from there. As soon as you get the right technique, that's really what it is with skimboarding. It takes you a lot further. So it became something that was just like fun, and then it turned into like, whoa, like this is gonna get me somewhere, because there was not many girls doing it back home. I was probably one of 2 girls in the whole like area that was doing it when I was like 17, like 16. So that's kind of around the time that I started.
So tell me about your transition. You said you left Florida to come out here so that you could ride more.
Definitely. Like, Florida was kind of where you got all that stoke, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need more. And when I was working a full-time job, and I was actually managing a Radio Shack store, just working like 8 to 6 every day, and just finding time in between trying to skimboard. And I'm like, wow, I like this side hobby that I want to do. Like, I want to turn this into my life. Like, I want to turn this into what I want to do. So I started doing that, and eventually I was able to leave my day job when I was around 24, and I started focusing on just skimboarding. And being in Florida, I couldn't really meet up with the sponsors, the companies, the collaborations that I wanted to do. So it was like a 2-month time period where I just came out here to a contest, and I was like, I just got to be here. Like, this is it. Just make this decision now. And when I was 25, I just packed everything up from a house into my car, whatever I could fit, and I drove across the country.
Now, I think, like you said, you left your day job to follow your passion. How, and I don't think that's something all of us out here want to figure out how we do that. So what were the steps that the choices you made then to be like, you know what, I'm going to leave this? Did you just... do you have other side jobs, or what did you do to be able to leave that day job? It
was really just the passion, the focus, and how much work I wanted to put in when I had the time. So there would be nights that I was up till 3 in the morning and back to work at 6, 7 in the morning. And it was just because I had so much drive to be, I had to pay my bills, but I had so much drive to be something else. And I felt like there was so much more out there for me. And I just wanted to feel a little more free with the way I was making my money. So it was really just grinding, putting my focus in when I was at work, and then putting my focus in on another job that wasn't even a job yet. So it was like creating a job that didn't even exist because I wanted it to really be a job.
But you knew, yeah,
I just stayed focused. It was tough some nights, you know. It's like created strain on my friendships and relationships and things like that, but it was so worth it in the end, because, you know, now that it's crazy to even think that I am where I'm at. Like, I didn't even fathom it.
So you feel you just had this vision that you saw before anybody else around you saw too.
Right, exactly. And you gotta fight through that, because, you know, you have people that will be like, well, what are you doing? Are you sure about this? And it's like, you gotta be sure with yourself. So that was the biggest thing.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, you moved out here and then you started talking about the competition. So and you won the whole competition, correct?
I won the VIC 2016, which is a pretty cool contest to win. It's one of the most prestigious ones, because it's at one of the beaches that is most well known for skimboarding around here, which is the Liso Beach, and it's a great contest to win. And I didn't really go into it just like, oh, I'm gonna win this. I was like, I know what I know now, and I just want to just do the best that I could. And so it was insane. It was like almost unbelievable to win that contest. But it was one of my favorite beaches to skim at too. So yeah. So
what in those contests, what are you being judged on, or do you have a particular move that you went? You know, tell us about how you're judged.
It's pretty tough, and it's even tough to be a judge. I mean, especially nowadays, there's a lot of like pressure around that, because it's so creative, it's so different, and a rider could go for what we call tech, and which is very technical moves where you're not as much going big on a bigger wave, or like they're not judging you in your style of how you come around the wave. They're more judging you on the technicality of, you know, shove-its, or like big spins and things like that. Just they're all words that probably some people are unfamiliar with, but they judge you pretty much on, you know, your completion of a wave, and then your difficulty of a wave, and then your style. So it's like 3 things that you're going kind of into it, where you're like, all right, well, I got to be comfortable on this wave, I got to complete this wave, but then I got to have my own style, and really like, it's kind of like also when you're approaching a wave, you have just the wave, and you got to create like a little formula between it. What are you going to do going out to it? What are you going to do on it? What are you going to do coming back to the beach? And it's like every wave you look at, you're like, all right, here we go. It's all split second.
Yeah, and how do you pick? Like, what are things that you see that you're like, that's the one I want?
Some waves, like you skimboard so much, you just look at them, you're like, oh, that's an air section. Or you look at it, you're like, all right, that's a wrap. And so there's goofy versus regular too. So some of the ones that come in and they peel like one way, you know, you can wrap around them and ride ride it kind of surfboard style, coming back the beach one way, and then the other, when you see them come around from a different part of the beach, you can hit it from the opposite. So it's kind of like the way that I've always related it in skateboarding, because I grew up more of a skateboarder actually than a skimboarder, is I look at them as ramps. I see the wave coming through, I'm like, all right, there's a skate ramp, which side is it on, where, how am I going to hit this? So that's kind of how I've looked at it, and they're all different. It's all, and sometimes you get to it and it is nothing what you thought it was and you're going down. So
and then, but now if you probably, you I sure have ways different when you recognize that to change up and change your style.
Definitely. You gotta like sometimes quick second like make a decision where, oh, I was approaching it what we call backside, and then the wave kind of just like crumbles the other way and you gotta just turn up and go the other way, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but it's split second for sure.
So what did you do the night after you won that competition?
Oh my gosh, I just remember hanging out with friends. Like that was it. We went to the after little party where they had the ceremony, and it was really awesome. Like I got a chance to spend time with like my closest friends and really just like take it all in. It was really hard to believe, to be honest. It was a great night. It was just like, oh man, I just couldn't believe it. It was my first year in California coming out here, and yeah, I won one of the coolest contests I probably would have ever won.
That's a good first start to first year, right?
Yeah, and I've never really like I've never been like crazy about the contest where it's like I gotta go in there and just win. I'm more just like stoked to see all my friends and like everybody's in the same spot, and it's just like, so coming out of it with a win is just, it's even more. It's just like, it's nice, it's cool. It puts more like, you know, drive in me, because now it's like, all right, here's next year, and it's like, all right, do better than last year, you know. So it's cool. It's hard to, you know, try and do better than what I've done with certain stuff, but I love the challenge of like, you know, just growing and progressing.
Are there any competitions coming up soon?
Yeah, actually, the tour's coming up. They call it the United Skim Tour, and that contest also is not part of the United Skim Tour, but the Vic is coming up in August. So our first part of the United Skim Tour is in Delaware, and that's coming up, I believe it's probably July or something like that. So June maybe even. But yeah, first one of the season's coming up soon, so we're trying to get out there and practice a lot, and you know, stay in shape is the hardest thing, because when you fall, it feels a lot better, or at least when you've been like working out a little bit.
Since you brought that up, what do you do for training?
I go to the gym pretty much. It's like a lot of my lifestyle is just working out, whether it's like in my house or at the gym or anywhere I go. Like for the most part, like every day I try and do something active. So it's, you know, if it's cloudy outside and I can't get any waves, I'll go for a hike, or I'll go in the gym for 30 minutes to an hour. I always try and find some way to stay active every day, because I notice it, you know, over a week, if you're kind of staying lazy or whatever, you get out there and you skim and you're just like, oh my gosh, like what, my body's so sore, or like it hurts to fall. So always try and stay active, and it's kind of something I've always done growing up, is just always working out and always trying to be, you know, on top of it.
I'm sure it's good for the mind too.
Yeah, totally. Especially when you're like having a rough day, even working on the computer. If I'm editing, like in there for 10 hours, sometimes sitting in front of my computer editing, it's nice to get out and do something active. So,
well, let's talk about that, because your degree was in digital marketing, correct?
Yeah.
Video digital. So you have totally monopolized that and like combined these two skills, right? So you have your own YouTube channel named by your name.
Yeah.
So I think we have a couple clips that we're going to show for you guys right now, so you can see these amazing things.
That's Aliso Beach.
That's it?
Cool.
It's just amazing to me. We got one more to show too. I highly recommend you guys go to her YouTube channel and just watch them all. They're so fun. I mean, yeah, and your skateboarding skills are amazing too.
Thank you. I have a lot of fun skateboarding.
You look like you just have a lot of fun in general. That's what I like.
That's the goal.
Yeah. You're doing life right, I think. Yeah, so, I mean, tell me about how you create all these, and like, yeah.
It's crazy. I spend probably just as much time on the computer trying to create fun stuff out of the videos that I take as I do outside, because it's a cool skill to combine it. And when I started doing this, that's what I really realized first, is I was like, dang, like I really love editing and I really love photography, and it started there and then it transitioned into like videography. And it's like, it was cool to be able to use like marketing that I learned to kind of market myself and have fun with these videos and still be able to make a living, because I'm kind of combining everything, like marketing, digital media, like videos and skimboarding. So I just decided to take the videos that I had of myself and just play around with them and just have fun, like mixing up edits and just doing. I noticed that the average attention span nowadays is pretty minimal.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of fun just making crazy edits that happen really fast.
I liked that a lot, actually, because I thought I liked that they were short, and I liked that you saw so much in a matter of time. Like it wasn't like you sat on a long visual for a long. So it was, you just want to click down to, it's like when you're Netflix binging, you know, I was like, oh, I want to get to the next one, get to the next. And then when it was over, I'm like, no, I want more, you know.
That's
so
awesome.
yeah, so did you start this a year ago, or how long ago did you start doing the videos?
I've been actually making videos for probably like 4 years now. A lot of times what I would do before I started marketing for myself is I would make videos for other companies, and I would market for them back home, and I would have you know, different little like social media packages that I would do for companies to help them grow. So a lot of my work and knowledge came from helping companies grow on the back end, and then I kind of just use what I learned for that to more so focus around like my videos and things like that, and like my sponsorships were coming from my athlete side. So it was great to be able to just like combine everything there and focus on making videos instead of marketing a certain product, marketing myself with the product and that type of thing, that transition.
So is one of your sponsors, I'm sorry, I had it written down, to the camera case.
Oh, yes, hit case. That's one of my main sponsors. I actually brought my hit case with me. I don't have the waterproof on me right now.
I'd love for you to tell people about the things you use that actually work well for this kind of stuff.
This is great. It's a great tool because it's something that I always have on me. We always have our iPhones on me, and the hit case, I've been with hit case for 5-6 years now, and it's crazy. Yeah, one day they just sent me an iPhone 4 waterproof case, and I was like, oh, well, I have a GoPro, but this is kind of cool. I can use this all the time. And now, you know, we're on our iPhone 7 case, and I'm still out there, I'm able to make a video just out of these lenses here. And basically they have different lenses for all of your uses, like wide angle, super wide angle, macro. You just screw it onto your iPhone, and your iPhone becomes a GoPro. So the funny thing is I'm just attaching this little rocker mount to like mouth mounts, to poles, to anything like that. You attach a GoPro, and I have my phone on me all the time, and I'm just filming in the slow-mo and everything, and I just bring it into the computer afterwards. And most of the time I'll just film an entire trip, and I'll have like my friends and my filmers just get their iPhone clips too, just funny moments, and I combine them all into like one video for the trip a lot of times. And this is kind of like the main place where I started making like adventure videos, because they were supporting me. I was going on trips. They would be like, all right, here's your mission, go to Portugal and, you know, make a video, figure it out, you know, come back, do something fun, and just make a crazy adventure video. And that's where it started. And I just had me, and I was the camera person, I was the director, I was my everything. I didn't have a crew. And so I had to get really creative. I had to set it down on tripod somewhere. I had to, you know, film my feet, film my hands, transition. And
I noticed you use like I thought that was cool. Sometimes you put the hand to the thing, and then you pop out in another place. And,
and it's crazy what you like learn and on your own creativity when you're put into a position where you just got to figure it out. And that's a lot of positions that I've been put in. It's just like, you're here, you got to get this job done, figure it out. So, and being like relying on myself the most has taught me the most. And because I'm most of the time my own director, my own camera person, and everything like that. And it's really helped me work with my friends and have fun. And we've really been able to just like make videos, because we just sit around and talk about something like, oh yeah, let's do this. We can make a video. It'd be fun. Yeah,
and I think it's great because you do have a whole crew that you do this with. But then if you are on your own, you're not reliant upon oh crap, I could have shot this, but I don't have a camera guy.
Exactly. Most of my ideas, I have like an entire idea from start to finish how to create a video and make it done, but I just don't have an extra person or an extra thing to hold the camera. So really, that's all it comes down to, is just like a lot of what I have in my mind. I just get people that want to help me out and work with me, and we get it done, and it's fun.
Was there a light box that you use for like?
Yes, I use a Lume Cube. Lume Cube is one of my sponsors as well. They're awesome. It's this logo here, and the light is waterproof, and it can be mounted on anything GoPro as well, and it's great. We shoot in a lot of low lighting, and we're also working on a new snorkeling edit with those, so that's going to be sweet, coming up pretty soon. And yeah, those things are just crazy. If you're in a barrel a lot of times, especially when the lighting's the right way, it gets dark in there. And so I've worked with a couple different people, and there's people shooting out in the water now having those lights on there to really light up the athletes in low lighting. So it's super cool. It helps a lot.
Do you have a place or an adventure in all your travels so far now that is your favorite?
My favorite, there's so many fun places. My favorite might be actually where I'm going soon. I'm going to Cabo, Mexico next week, so that's going to be pretty fun. But right now, for waves, I would have to say I have the most fun here for now. But I also had a lot of fun in Portugal. Really, really cool country. For adventure, I really like Thailand. Thailand is just endless things to do, and endless beautiful water and warm weather, and I really want to go back there and just film. There's just so many things that they do down there. So definitely.
Well, let's talk to both of you. I want to know more about your squad, the girls you all hang out with, and what I saw on there called the Jig Squad. So tell us about this.
So we have a friend. We'll give him a little shout out. His name's Jack Tenney. He's another professional skimboarder as well. Huge influence of mine. He's great. He's so driven and films like everything that he does with his crew and everything back in Florida. And we recently just traveled to Florida from spring break because the weather was bad here. She had a spring break from school, and we're like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go on a little mission trip to film. And we went to Florida, met up with Jack Tenney and the Jig Squad, and we call them the Jig Squad. And those guys, they know how to have fun. We get there. I think we're immediately like jumping off of the 6 trampolines into a pool of the play balls and everything. Going skimboarding. We go to the flow boarding house where you kind of surf indoors and everything like that.
That's what I wanted to ask. Was that one in Orlando?
That one is actually in Clearwater, but they do have one in Orlando.
I saw one. Was that okay? Well, whatever one I saw on your video that just looked amazing. I wanted to hear about that place.
There's 2 different ones you may have seen, and you guys probably know about Disney World in Orlando. So there's one in Typhoon Lagoon, which is like a man-made water like wave. And so we actually have this tour every year where we compete in skateboarding, surfing, and skimboarding all for one score, and all in one tour in Florida, and it goes across Florida. So one of the things that I feature in my video is the wave pool in Typhoon Lagoon, and that's like the man-made wave. I think it goes up to like 4 feet, and it just creates a surfing wave right in the pool. So no sharks, nothing to worry about. Nice water, it's great. And then the second one was in Clearwater. It's called flow boarding or flow rider, and everybody's stoked on that right now. It's like they have them on the cruise ships, and like it's crazy. And we were just jumping off that thing, trying to land on it it's like a rubber bouncy thing. It just not ideal for girls in bikinis, but it's a great time. We needed a couple heads up before we got in there, but now we know the proper attire. Body gloves got me hooked up with that, so just need to
I want to talk about that, and you said you might have some comments, because that was one of my questions. I thought, what are the best swimsuits for this? Because we all have the problems when they're in the ocean, and we about lose our pants and all this stuff. So I want you ladies to tell us what girls need to be buying if they're going to be doing these kinds of things.
My favorite, as much as I love the sun being on... What?
Lean back on the couch.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
As much as I love the sun being on my whole body, for skimming, I feel more comfortable being in a wetsuit because I'll go harder. Because if I get smacked and thrown around, everything's covered. I've definitely had my share of one of my most embarrassing stories.
Yeah, we like these stories. I want to.
Send that story.
Okay, we're at Aliso, like dopest beach to skim at, and there's
Infamous.
always photographers out there if there's at least 2 skimmers. So I'm there skimming with one of my friends, and I just go for this wave in a bikini, and the wave kind of like shoots, like water's drip like coming down on me, but then I get shot up. So you're at the beach. I'm turning everything out, and I'm just flying in the air with my chest out to everywhere. It was, and I probably would have like like died as soon as I got out of the water just of embarrassment, but my best friend was at the top of the beach and she was just cracking up and I was like, all right, everybody delete that.
Yeah.
There's always photographers and videographers at the beach, so it's
So
like
bad.
whatever's going down is probably caught on video or film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see in some of her videos like all that whitewash comes and it just drowns you, and
So powerful.
I don't know how your suit stays on, but Body Glove's killing it.
Got me hooked up. Right now, you know, I've had
Yeah.
to narrow it down to the right top and the right bottoms that really stay on. I've been wearing body glove tops for probably 6 years now, and they're the only ones that have stayed on me, like, as good. It's just because they got to be, like, tight to you. Tight.
Real
Yeah,
tight.
pretty
Tight is
much
the key, huh?
Stay tight.
It's a suit that don't move, you know?
Yeah.
And Body Glove's got that, so.
Yeah, it's just got to
Lucky.
stay on. I mean, it's kind of become like the routine though, that you just as you're coming out of the water, your hands are like doing this. All right, we're all good.
Yeah. Check
Everything's there.
Have you ever just lost one completely?
Bottom,
Florida. Top? Yeah.
Florida,
My bottoms.
the bottoms. You
Did
know,
you get them back or they were just gone?
No, I was like,
see,
you know, you
yeah.
gotta cover yourself with your board. Hopefully your board's near you, or you just, you know.
Yeah.
it's pretty rough though. Yeah, the wetsuits is definitely more ideal for, you know, especially like some of those waves that you see in videos. They don't look as powerful as they are, but when you're coming down off of like a 4 or 5 foot face and you're just like nailing it, like, you don't want to land on like sand in your bikini, but
Yeah.
it happens, and you just kind of like know how to fall eventually. That's like the key to skimboarding, is like I feel like you start progressing when you start getting over the fear of falling and like getting stuck out there or whatever, and you kind of just fall like a doormat, and you just have to be so buoyant so that way you don't destroy yourself.
Let's give a few, because I know we're short on time here. Can I have you talk about your board and
Yeah.
like these things that you have on it, and then just throw out a few techniques that you would give to like
Yeah,
to
definitely.
a new skimboarder.
So yeah, this is one of my boards here. All the boards have like different shapes, different sizes, and it's really about the rider of how they want it to be shaped. So there's not really one skimboard that I would just be like, all right, use this. You're gonna kill it on this. It's gonna be like, what wave are you riding? What beach are you at? What do you want to do? Like, how's your stance? How's your style? So like this board here, I use a lot of the Liso. It's a little bit faster. It's a little bit less forgiving, and it's quicker to turn. Where I have a little bit of a wider board for places like Florida and places that you kind of want to be a little more buoyant and floaty. So we call like the wider boards kind of like little boats, because you get on and they're just like freaking huge. But this one here, like, this is your back pad here, this is your arch pad, and you'll see some skimboarders don't even use the arch pad because they have just a different style of where they like enjoy the wax more. I have a high arch in my foot, so I like to know where my center of my board is, and it's kind of like muscle memory. You just know where you are on the board. And the key to skimboarding is really like getting on it as fast as possible with like, you know, using like physics to kind of keep your speed and how you drop it. I unfortunately had the learning experience of getting on with my right foot and getting on with my front foot, and actually coming from Florida, it's kind of something you got used to, and a lot of Florida riders have. And the back foot is actually a little faster.
So your right is up there. You put your right up there.
I put my right foot up here because I'm goofy, and I get on it front foot first, whereas like a lot of skimboarders get on back foot first.
Okay.
I usually recommend like learning it back foot first because it's a little bit faster and it's a little bit easier. Luckily, I've been running for a long time, and I just at least have a little speed behind me, so my front foot drop doesn't mess me up too much. But yeah, it's basically get on it fast and just keep your speed. That's the key. And it's like you have to a lot of times go out and you'll see me like slide sideways, and that's just like another way to get over the water a little faster. So the whole board, the way it's set up, is per your technique and how you want to ride it and everything like that. And waxing it, always key. Like, you know, like the way I have it right here is like old wax, like not waxed up properly, so you definitely want to wax it more and everything. But everybody starts out different. This is a double carbon fiber board from Slot Stick. They've been really great to me, and they make all their handmade shapes, and they're just like, they come out the way I want it. But there's a ton of other companies out there making them right now and doing well.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna go. We were gonna hook up this weekend, but the winds in LA didn't help us out today. So you'll have to tune in for part 2 of this interview, where we're gonna go down with these girls and go to the beach, and then we can talk more technique there too. For you guys that are really wanting to get in it, you can see her in action too, and we get down there and talk some more about it.
And we'll learn some more tricks and kind of make the names of the tricks make a little more sense.
Yeah. We could.
Well, hard to explain here. We don't want to keep spinning it on the table. And be like, all right, let's just shove it.
So before we run out of time too, tell me a little bit about at TomGirl here we like to talk about the girl communities and girl communities, what's it mean to you guys to have you have your group of girls going out and doing this together?
It's everything. We stoke each other out. It's a whole nother session when we have the girls out there, but versus by yourself. And I mean, we love skimming with the guys. Don't get me wrong, they push us. They're always stoked for us. But skimming with the girls, we're all just very passionate and we all have fun, and it's never really a competition. And we're all just get that next wave, or just get barreled or just eat it, whatever. We're just stoked to be all hanging out there, and it's really great to have a community of girls that really enjoy what you enjoy, and it's a nice sport that it combines a little bit of every type of person that I've seen. I've seen really girly girls get into skimboarding, and I've seen girls that are just really into just working out and just going hard at it, they're into skimboarding. So it's it's kind of cool. It really brings a whole community of people together, and some of my best friends I've met just from skimboarding, and it's great. I wouldn't have the life that I have if it wasn't for the community that we have.
So there's got to be some great stories. What's one of the most maybe surprising, embarrassing, fun, crazy story, something?
What I enjoy with skimming with Amber is she pushes herself. So it's I won't connect what she's connecting, so I'm just watching and I'm waiting. I'm she's either gonna kill it or she's gonna get killed. And when she gets killed, she lets out this high-pitched scream, girliest high-pitched scream, and we just see her arms and legs and just fly around, and then we all start screaming for her. Or we all have nicknames for each other and all these sounds, and I think that's my favorite part is walking out of the water and seeing all my buds, all the support, all the cheers, and that's my favorite part for sure. And then competing with them too is super rad, because you're my competition, but good luck, bud. I swear, if you mess this up, you're done. So it's and that pushes us more, and that is more comfortable. I'm willing to try more things. Say I won't do an airhead right now, and then they're yo, you won't, and then I go and I try, and and then we all go nuts. And
I love it.
It's great, and we all came out here from Florida too.
It's great.
So we made our own squad. Yeah,
that's
definitely.
Awesome. Yeah. What are your nicknames?
It depends on what we're doing. I think we get a little creative depending on if I'm slipping out for a wave.
Little slip.
They'll call me little slip, little flip if we're flipping out off the wave.
Hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel.
We call each other bud though. The 4 of us girls, 5 of us
we're
girls,
buds,
we're
I
buds.
guess.
But
good buds.
Yeah, they call me Salmon.
Yeah, we will literally. You don't know what's going to come out of it. That might be the good thing and the issue.
I'm stoked for you guys to get out on the beach. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Little slip. That's her biggest name, because she side slips out there, and it's you better slip, you better get that.
Yeah, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's more so who's gonna see the biggest wave and who's gonna scream at which bud and be you won't go, and one of us just has to just go. Somebody's gotta charge it. I mean,
see
we
a nice
know we're
wave
gonna eat it
from the set, and you're all right, hamster wheel, you better get.
And I'm just all right, here we go.
Yeah, and then you go, and you kill it, and it's great.
That's the funnest thing too, is they all get to see the best moments and your craziest moments too, because especially at Aliso, that's why it's my favorite beach. It's if I'm going for a wave, it's either I'm gonna kill it or I'm going down really hard, and either way it was worth it for the clip or worth it for people to see.
Yeah, no, I can totally see why you love it. Like you said, with surfing, you're just sitting out there so long by yourself, waiting. It would be just so fun to have the good crew like that and be doing it all together.
It's a whole nother element to the sport, and I love surfing too, and it's great because surfing, I get out there and I kind of escape the world, and it's a whole nother feel for being out there for that sport. But we've kind of really fell in love with this, and it's just something that's just really created a great environment for all of us and a great group of friends.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can people watch, will they be able to watch the competition streaming?
Definitely.
Or?
The biggest one that you will be able to watch is actually the one that I was competing in last year that I won is the Vic this year. I believe they're going to actually have it live taped and as well played afterwards.
Okay.
So that's something to really look for this summer in August. The Vic in Laguna Beach, California. There's one in Dewey Beach, Delaware, I believe, coming up, and then there'll be some in Florida as well. And the best place to look for that is following the skimboarding pages on social media, following the United Skim Store, UnitedSkimTour.com, and just keeping up with the athletes is really, we'll let you know when there's a competition coming up. And there's some really big athletes out there now for skimboarding, and they're doing crazy things. Austin Keene, Brad Domke, Blair Conklin, there's some names that are really killing it. My boyfriend's really good at skimboarding too. His name's Patty Mack, and just like people just really pushing the sport. Everybody's out there just putting it on social media, some of their best clips, and it's really great. Social media is really a place that we've seen skimboarding grow because it's so unique of a sport, and there's so many people inland that have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
They're like, what is that? Why does it have a fin? That's surfing. No, it's not.
Exactly.
Tell me more. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's, I always show up at an airport and I'm checking it in, and they're like, your surfboard? I'm like, no. Your boogie board?
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is my skimboard. Please don't charge me $100 for a surfboard.
Yeah.
So another good thing about skimboarding, guys, you don't get charged the surfboard fee. And if you do, you
shouldn't. Yeah, I get a refund.
Let them talk to me. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing so much with us. Before we leave, we're going to real quick. Each week here we do a Tom Girl of the Week. So we will announce our Tom Girl of the Week for this week.
Sweet.
She's up there, I think, right? All right. Yep, there you go. All right. So the Tom Girl of the Week this week is Carrie Underwood because, she just rocks it, of course, as a singer. We all know it. And she has the most amazing legs in the world. But she's complete sports chick, too, and that she's right now cheering for her adorable husband against the Anaheim Ducks right now. The series is tied 1-1. He plays for the Nashville Predators. So that's her rocking her sports gear out, supporting her husband. They're just the most adorable couple. But that's not only, and actually they're playing right now, so I don't know, the series is tied 1-1, so hopefully they won. Because I'm a Kings fan, not the Ducks. But anyway, all right. The reason we're giving this to her is because she has her sportswear line, the Kalia Fitness, and Kalia brand, and they are helping girls with giving them money. She's partnered with Dick's Foundation, and through May, they're pledging a total of $200,000 to about 100 different girls' sports teams around the United States. They're selecting who they give the money to via the donorschoose.org. This is actually the third time that they've paired up to give back to girls sports teams like this, and we just love it. Carrie talks about how she credits sports for giving her confidence and really helping her get to where she is today. She had a great quote where she said, "Sports were a big part of my life growing up, so it's important to me that girls across the country get those same opportunities. We are empowering hundreds of girls across the country to learn, grow, and dream, teaching them to do what they love later in life." So we love that. All right. So, wow, this was just fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, so fun. This went by so fast. I'm like, oh, I hate that we have to wrap. But like I said, that we're going to do part 2 down at the beach. So we'll show you her favorite spots. We'll go down to Laguna. We'll see the girl squad, and we'll get more in depth. So stay tuned for that one. Where can everybody follow you at on social media and your YouTube?
Yeah, you can look me up by my name on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. It's Amber Torrealba. My name is not the easiest to spell, but if you break it down, it's Torrealba. You can just follow me at Amber Torrealba on any of those social media networks.
And Sam, where can they follow you?
And you can get me on Instagram with SamVictor7.
Got the 7 after.
Or Snapchat, the real Les Vic. Some people say I'm funny, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The real show is on her Snapchat. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the real Les Vic.
The real Les Vic. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, tune in, guys. Okay, that's it for this week. We will see you here again next week.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Such a blast, ladies. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.